Leaders of History, presented by VH1. George Washington was perhaps this country's greatest leader. He was commander of the American forces during the Revolutionary War, and as the first president of the United States, he served 2 terms of distinction, becoming the father of our country. But then, things went sour. After the presidency, Washington fell into a deep depression and developed an addiction to painkillers. Soon, he was in conflict with his friends and family, trashing his home in Mount Vernon after a painful intervention.
Well, it wasn't a pretty picture at all. Washington, he was in a fetal position, curled up, pretty much bare-ass naked except for his wig. His family was there, and of course Napoleon. He just lied there. He didn't move for about 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden he snapped.
It was then Washington catapulted out of his couch and stunned his wife Martha with a fatal karate kick. Ostracized by his public, Washington took up with his pal Napoleon as he fell into a downward spiral of women and crack cocaine. The 2 of them traveled the Southwest for 8 months, sharing a taste for tall underage immigrants and staying one step ahead of the authorities.
Washington and Napoleon, they would stay up for days. And they'd turn up at a general store or livery stable, arguing and fighting, arguing in French, but Washington couldn't speak French. They'd be so wasted you couldn't tell. And Napoleon would hit Washington and his wooden teeth would come out, and then they'd make a big deal about that, just to get a rise out of people. Everybody wanted to be able to say, they were the one that kicked George Washington's ass. And he really would. He'd take on just about anybody, but he'd only do it for heroin.
On August 12, 1846, Washington hit bottom after being arrested for public nudity and battery of a small bear in Laredo, Wyoming.
Washington was in tears with the cops saying, "Why is he eating me? I've never done anything to bears." He finally realized he needed help.
I knew then that I needed help or I was going to die.
Determined at last, George Washington checked into an 8-month rehabilitation program that saved his life. Today, George Washington lives in Rockwell, New York with his wife May Lynn and their 2 children. He has never been happier.
When I look at everything that brought me to where I am now, the revolution, the presidency, the bear attack, the heroin, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing.